What is going on, guys? This is Ben here, bringing another Brawl Stars video. Today, we are going to be going over the best brawlers which you want to be using in the new mode Takedown, so you guys can win a lot more frequently and get a lot more trophies. Now, we also are going to be going over the worst brawlers to use in Takedown and the ones that you want to stay away from. So, definitely leave a like if you guys do enjoy the ranking videos. It's been a long time since I've done them, but stay tuned, subscribe. Let me know what your favorite brawlers for Takedown is. Let me know what your top and worst list are, and let's get into this. So first off, I want to start off with some honorable mentions. For the honorable mention here, it's going to be 4 brawlers, and 3 of them are longer range brawlers, and it's going to be Jessie, Pam, and Penny. So with Jessie, her turret can be very, very helpful, doing a lot of damage, protect you from the boss damage, can do work, save you, everything. But Jessie kind of doesn't have like that huge damage potential with like a ton of damage like the other brawlers that we're going to go over in like the top tier. And the same kind of goes with Penny. She can survive, she can do great. The mortar somewhat is ineffective sometimes because there's so many brawlers, and a lot of times the bot is just going to either be out of range of it or run away from the mortar. But Penny can do well. And the next one is Pam. Pam is really nice with her star power that heals her up. Her turret just keeps her alive as well to heal her. And if you get beefed up with Pam, she's going to be doing a ton of damage and can tank a lot of shots from the boss as well. But they're a little bit on the lower tier because a lot of times they struggle to maybe survive for a long period of time or just deal off a ton of damage. And then the last one in the honorable mention category is Primo. The reason why I put Primo in here is as an honorable mention is because if you have his star power where he has the movement speed meteor rush, that is going to be so helpful because you can super, you can keep up the boss. He's tanky enough to either evade shots, survive, but at the same time he's a very low, a small range. So if you're not getting good spawns near the boss or you can't survive around the boss, it's going to be tricky for you. But he's an honorable mention because he is solid. If he can survive, especially on the maps that we have out right now, like the maze one right now, he's a very, very good option because the closer range maps, the more cover there is, there are more walls that he can hide behind. He's going to do very, very well. It's just not all the maps are catered to him. And one of the brawlers in the top 5 is like that as well. But for the 5th brawler that we have here, I actually put Spike. I wanted to move up Spike a little bit, but still, he is very, very good. If you have him, he can work very well on any of the maps. The map we have right now is like a little bit weird because a lot of the longer range brawlers can struggle a little bit, but at the same time the boss charges a lot, so it's okay. But Spike with his super, it can help you a lot because the slowdown super, even if you want to zone other brawlers from getting to you, or you just start right on top of the boss and you have free shots because basically the boss is pretty much standing still. And if you get beefed up with power cubes, oh my gosh, you are gonna melt. Now with Spike, he's a little bit lower on the HP side, so you really want to keep your distance a lot of times from either getting shot from the boss or just trying your best to stay away from the brawlers. An overall general strategy is if they're easy access, kind of pick up a few power cubes and then try not to die. Try and survive around the boss as best as possible and just keep yourself in a safe distance. If you need to back off for a little bit to heal up while other brawlers are still around, that's fine. Just don't go entirely kill hunting or power cube hunting. You want to even it out, deal damage to the boss, try and survive, and then if you end up dying, hopefully you try and just get to the boss as fast as possible. At the same time, maybe picking up a few power cubes in the way. But Spike, he's awesome. Does a lot of damage, has a ton of damage potential. If you have curveball, it helps even more. And he's a nuisance to deal with, and he can do a ton of damage on that boss. Now to the number 4, I actually have 2 brawlers here because in my eyes, some of them are better on some maps and some of them are better than the other ones, and it is 8-Bit and Piper. They are both incredibly long range. I didn't want to give them I don't want them to take up 2 spots because I don't know, I feel like in this map right now, 8-Bit is actually not very good. It's too close range for him. And in general, a lot of times, 8-Bit is really slow, and it can be tricky sometimes to stay on top of the boss and get a ton of damage. But at the same time, there's other matches where 8-Bit just dominates the boss, can sit in his turret, survive, and just melt everyone around him. So it's a little bit more easy, or it's a little bit easier with 8-Bit on the longer, more open range maps. But at the same time, Piper is just I feel like it's similar, where she can just go off as well and just keep her distance, just melt a ton of people. There's an annoying strategy going on right now where Pipers are running around the outside of the map, just picking up a ton of power cubes, trying to survive. And then once they have a sufficient amount, like 15 to 10 or 20 or whatever, they go in the middle and just snipe everyone around and don't let anyone get close to the boss if it's like in a more open, wide open map. And then basically she just continues to feed up and grow in power cubes, and then just basically like destroys the boss after she gets like 40 or something. It's crazy. Piper's obviously a little bit easier to like, because she's faster. She has that nice super if she needs to get closer to the boss, to run away, to get out. 8-bit is more of just like, can literally take over the game. Piper, she can do the same and can be annoying because she can keep her distance and outdistance a lot of other brawlers and still hit the boss from far range. So they're both solid choices. And since I wanted to keep this a top 5 list, I kind of switched them together. Now number 3 is actually going to be Bull. On this map, Bull is dominant because like, he has so many things to do. If you have the star power where he gains that shield when he drops below 40% HP, even better. Bull can just like, if you get beefed up in power cubes just a little bit, just get a few of them and get all 3 of your main attacks off, you do so much damage. And it takes a lot of other like long range brawlers or brawlers in general to just even compete. Like all you need is a few great hits on the boss, maybe when you have a decent amount of power cubes with your main attacks, and you're going to be set for a while, and it's going to put you in trophies a lot. Now the downside is there's a few maps where he's not the greatest. So with Bull, you got to be kind of a tactician here, where it's like if you have a lot of maps where there's like cover, walls to maneuver around, or just in general it's a like a little bit easier to maneuver, Bull is going to be very, very helpful, or very, very good, because he's quick, he has that super where he can dive. He has a little bit longer range than Primo. That's why we give it to Bull, because if he needs to, he can still finish off brawlers from a little bit of like farther of a distance. But he's tanky enough to tank a lot of damage. If the boss does run away from him into like an area where no one is, he can just use his super to catch up. If you spawn on the way other side of the map, you can just super to try and get closer. Now the downside is like if there's a lot of long range brawlers zoning that bot, you might have a little bit of a difficulty like maneuvering and getting to them. But on the close range maps, he's absurd. He's very good, one of the best brawlers for sure. Rico is the number 2 brawler. He is nasty. He can deal so much damage and helps so much if you have Robo Retreat, because if he falls below 40% HP, he can zip around the map, get close, he can dodge, he can do everything. Now what else is like the main key why he is so good? He gets his super, and the super basically does piercing stuff. It goes through the bot, it hits other enemies. So a lot of times, like say there's Bulls kind of like trying to chip away at the boss, like the robot, you can just launch your super, hit the Bull and the bot at the same time. At the same time, pretty much almost charge up your next super and just launch it off again. The damage potential with Rico is absolutely insane. It's crazy. That's why we have him at the number 2 like spot here, because it's crazy how much you can do, and all you need to do is fire off a couple supers or just main attacks and you'll be set. Now he does have very low HP, so that is a struggle. You have to be able to survive with him, kind of keep your distance, but if you can survive, walk down that boss, chain your supers off, he's crazy. And a lot of times you're not going to be doing bad because he has that long range in general, can pick off other brawlers, and it's nuts. It's absolutely crazy. I think Rico is so deserving of the 2nd spot. Now, the 1st spot is Colt. For similar reasons, where his super is like a piercing super where it just goes through everything, but giving like the edge to a little bit to Colt is he can break walls if he needs to, especially on this maze map right now, where sometimes the boss is like right on the other side of the wall, but you can't get over the wall. You can just open up the wall and walk right through there. He has the star power where he has the new boots, where they buffed it, so he has a 10% movement speed boost. He can zip around the map. So it's not as impactful or not as devastating if you're trying to get up a few power cubes before you go into attack, because he has that quick movement speed. His main attack as it is just does so much damage. His damage potential is absurd. So a lot of the brawlers that have like high damage or high DPS are really good in this mode, because all they need is that one little good like 10 to 15 seconds just dominating that boss, and you're going to be set a lot of times into the trophies. And then with Colt too, he has that movement speed to maneuver once you get that star power, and he's just crazy. I think he is the best brawler. You see him the most. He's so versatile in this mode, and it doesn't really matter if it's like a more longer range map or a closer range map. It doesn't matter. He can be very well on any of them, because it helps too on the closer range maps, especially the ones that are like the maze map that we have right now and everything, is the boss charges around a lot. So eventually later in the game, the map is going to get opened up a lot. I don't know, Colt, I just feel like he's the best brawler for sure in this mode. It's ridiculous. Does so much damage. But that's my top 5. Now, I do want to get into the worst brawlers, which you kind of want to stay away from, that you're going to struggle, because whether they're short range, they just don't fare well in this game mode. My 5th worst brawler is going to be Nita. Her range is short. She does not actually deal a lot of damage. Her bear, it helps sometimes, but the boss is going to take it out relatively quick, and there's so many other brawlers. It's not very super helpful, but the reason why is Nita kind of has a slower load speed, short range. Her main attack doesn't deal a crazy amount of damage. It's just difficult. So Nita, I put down here. You don't really want to be using her in Takedown. Number 4 is arguably one of the worst brawlers in the game right now. You see a lot of the pro players as well not liking this brawler. It is Tara. She takes too long to get her super. Her super isn't very useful or helpful at all in this game mode. She doesn't deal a whole lot of damage, and her range just isn't, like, this is not a Tara game mode, I don't think at all. Like, there's really no benefit to dragging. It's hard for her to get a lot of damage off, especially, like, you can be by the bot by yourself and just getting those main attacks off, maybe like 9 main attacks, let's say, on the boss. A bull comes in with a couple power cubes, 3 of his main attacks, he's already just basically obliterated your DPS in the same amount of time. It's crazy. Or the less amount of time, I should say. Now, the 3rd worst brawler, I don't recommend this. I've seen people try it. I don't think it's very good. It is Poco. Poco doesn't have quite the long range, but the downside is his main attack. His main attack does, like, no damage, really. Like 980 or something like that. 900. It is not a lot of damage, and it's gonna be difficult unless you just get so beefed up with your screeching solo, can survive a bunch. Had to sneeze there. Poco is just gonna struggle. I would not recommend Poco in this game mode. Number 2, 2nd worst brawler is Frank. Frank struggles a lot. He does not have the nice getaways or escapeaways or get close aways. That's not even a word, obviously, but like Bull or Primo have, where they can jump, get there, and do a ton of damage and just go crazy. Frank does a ton of damage, yes, but his attacks are slow. He struggles to stay in range and survive in the boss or near the boss because of all of the other, like, longer range brawlers and other things. He's gonna get focused down. Basically, when I've been playing Frank, it's kind of like you're basically just like a feeder to other people's supers. So it's very difficult with Frank. A lot of people are going to be keeping their distance from him anyway, so he can't make super great use of his super. Super great use of the super. That makes a lot of sense. But yeah, it's just very difficult with Frank. There are some times, yes, where you get your super, you can stun the boss, get a lot of main attacks, and go forward and do all right. But more often than not, I just feel like he's not very good in this mode. It's a struggle. Frank, I'm sorry. I love you. You're one of my favorite brawlers, but I'm just not going to be playing you in Takedown anytime soon. Now, the worst brawler. I've seen a lot of people actually try and use him. I don't know if they're trolling. I think they are. They're just going for funsies, trying to, like, get up as much power cubes as they can, going around the outside of the map. It is Mortis. Mortis has the worst time trying to get damage on the boss I've ever seen, obviously, because he needs to literally jump on top of the robot, the boss robot, to even deal damage. And he's gonna get hit. He's gonna take a lot of damage. He's not gonna survive. The one nice thing with Mortis is, like, yeah, you can run around the outside of the map and get a ton of power cubes and evade. But by that time, like, these boss fight or these takedown matches are so quick. By the time he gets a ton of power cubes, gets a couple swipes off, the game's gonna be over. With Mortis, I don't know. Do not use him. Do not use him in this game mode. You're gonna be struggling to get damage. You're gonna be struggling to get close. You can get a ton of kills. You can get a ton of power cubes. But dealing that robot damage is not gonna be good for you. So stay away from those. That's my worst brawlers to stay away from. But overall, that's my list here. Obviously, we haven't had Takedown for a super long time, so this is kind of preemptive here. But of just what I've noticed after the couple times we've had Takedown and playing it quite a bit, these are the brawlers that I really love using. The 5 brawlers that I really hate using, and then obviously those other brawlers. There's a lot of brawlers which you can use and still be successful in. These are just the ones that I find myself having the most success with, most consistently. I did consult a little bit with YDE and Skyrick, so go check them out too. They're pro players, guys. They're awesome. I got a little few from them, so I'll leave their stuff in the description below. But let me know what you guys think about this takedown list. Subscribe. Let me know if you guys like to see a Lone Star one, and let me know what you guys are even enjoying with takedown. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.